Welcome to Faith Positive Radio with Dr. Joey Fawcett, the Christian business coaching conversation that increases your faith with greater joy at work so you love God and others more. Dr. Joey interviews Christian business professionals just like you to discover their secrets for working faith positive in a negative world. Welcome to Faith Positive Radio with Dr. Joey Fawcett.
Faith Positive Nation, when you hear the title, Customer Success Manager, what pops into your head? Well, if you're in business at all, you want your customers to be successful, right? Because when they're successful, the company's successful and you're successful. Well, how would you like to be in charge? A manager of customer success. Ooh, anybody nervous besides me? Because we know what Jane and Joe, Q customer, are like, right? So today's guest, Faith Positive Nation, is going to tell you how to make your customers successful and how to do it as a Christian in the workplace. That's not a tall order at all. Kristen Kelliher is up for it. She is the customer success manager for a technology firm in the Atlanta, Georgia area called Novologic. So Faith Positive Nation, help me welcome to Faith Positive Radio today, Kristen Kelliher. Kristen, welcome and thank you for the gift of your time and wisdom today.
Oh, goodness. Thank you for having me.
We are delighted. So, customer success manager, what do you get up and do every day?
Great question. I really work to make sure we're thinking through the whole customer experience when someone interacts with our company in a variety of different ways. But I spend time determining where those points are that you need to make sure they're being successful. And how they're going to feel when they're being successful, so that we can really identify the best experience for them, and so that they are able to, in turn, give better experiences to others, and utilize our tools and platforms to have a great impact on their customers, whoever they may be.
Right, right. So you want them to feel good about the experience with Novologic. And I noticed you used the word feel good. Most of us make decisions out of our guts, right? I mean, that's where we make a decision based on feeling. And then we backfill, that is, we rationalize it with our minds. So you're trying to create a feel good customer experience. What does that look like for the customers of Novologic?
It can be different with every client, and depends on what our engagement is with them. But really, we want them to have an easy experience with us. So, a lot of companies focus on what they are, what they're trying to sell to the customer, what they're trying to give to the customer, what they're trying to get them to buy, or do with their products or services. But we really want to hear from the customer and really dig into what they're looking for, what their pain is, and really address what that pain is. And we may be the solution, we may not be, but our initial goal is really just to hear them and hear what their pain is, and then offer a solution that either we can provide that they need to go look for, or connect them to someone that can help them in that pain.
Wow. So you're really concerned about your customer success then. And if that means it's one of your products, wonderful. It means if it's somebody else's product, that's wonderful too.
Yep. I think that really differentiates our company and any other company that I've worked for. It's a different thing, you could say, to really hear your customers and really have their best interests at heart, and not necessarily your best interests.
Yeah, so you're reminding me of a Christmas movie that is, the title of which is eluding me now. I want to say Miracle on 34th Street, but it's the one where Santa Claus worked for Macy's and was sending everybody to Gimbals, because Macy's was out of a certain doll or whatever, sending them down the street to Gimbals. Wow, when you're really concerned about your customer, you'll do whatever it takes to make them successful, won't you?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, because so many, it seems like, of course, we're all in a sales-driven world. We depend on people buying products and services and exchanging money so that we can offer products and services to others. But it just seems like that so often when we're in that sales cycle, we walk in, hear just enough from the potential customer to say, oh yeah, we can do that. And then everything they bring up, oh yeah, we can do that. And our product can do that. And we're the best thing since sliced bread, right? Sure, we can throw the kitchen sink in. But it sounds to me like what you guys do is more than hear your customer. You actively listen to your customer, help him or her identify those pain points or the places of greatest need, right? And then make a discernment about whether or not Novologic products actually fit.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to make sure that we may have a solution that fits that pain or need at the moment, but is that really the pain? Is that really what you need? And is ours the best thing to fit that need? And sometimes it's not. And so I think, it gives a lot of credibility to our team to approach business that way and approach our customers that way, because it builds a level of trust that may not be there if we're just trying to sell and sell and sell, and fit every single pain or need they have.
Mm-hmm. And it sounds like to me that's a faith-driven core value there of integrity, use the word credibility, to place others ahead of your own needs. How does your faith take on expression as the customer success manager for Novologic?
So deeply rooted in my DNA is serving others and being able to not only serve our team, but serve our customers and really have that lens of how is this serving them? How is this going to serve their business? Is just kind of enrooted in who I am and who our company is. And everyone on our team, that's part of their DNA, is to serve others. And it's a guiding principle and guiding fact of how we do business.
So when you say it's rooted in you, how did serving others get rooted in you, Kristen?
A couple different ways. Growing up, it was always, we were always given opportunities to serve others. My mom was a single mom, and my brother and I, she would always take us with her, and we would always be helping in any situation that she was in. So we just kind of learned that that's what you do for people. And then my previous background is with Chick-fil-A. And so they are pretty excellent at teaching about serving others. And I learned a lot from example, other people serving me and other people serving others in the same environment. And, after so many years, it just becomes part of who you are.
Yeah, well, they're not the number one quick serve restaurant brand in the country for nothing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so say my pleasure one time for us.
My pleasure.
Oh, there you go. See, I feel like I'll take a large sweet tea with that.
I tell you, my pleasure, it never goes away.
No, I can always tell when a young person has worked for Chick-fil-A at some point in their lives because they just spontaneously say my pleasure. And I can also pick out people who've been through the Marriott training program because they have an immensely popular and successful culture like Chick-fil-A's. And so those are two great places. So your mom took you when you were a little girl with her to places and you guys were helping people. What are some of those memories that you have of helping people?
Oh, goodness. Let's see. So we would, a lot of times, so she was a teacher.
Okay.
So a lot of times it was at school.
All righty.
We would go for PTA nights or curriculum nights or, whatever the term was at that point in time.
Right. Wherever mom drug you to school.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. And so we would always help her set up and go help other teachers set up and, make sure that, wherever we could lend a hand, we were lending a hand. So
you thought everybody did that. You thought everybody just pitched in and lent a hand wherever they needed it. But you discovered somewhere along the way that not everybody's wired like that, didn't you?
Not everyone is wired that way. Yes,
That's right.
That was an interesting revelation.
So for you, though, it's a matter of the upbringing, but it's also a matter of your faith. Where does your faith hook in as customer success manager for Novologic?
So a lot, again, on the same lines of serving. You know, there's a lot of people on it. Mostly I think of serving our team. So
Okay.
we also have what we call relationship managers. And at this time, they're really the ones in front of and engaged with the clients on a day-to-day basis. And so part of my role is to make sure that the relationship managers have all that they need to serve the customers also. Creating documentation, creating videos, anything to help provide training to our relationship managers or to our clients, really equipping them with the tools that they need to be successful also is a big part of my job. And so the bottom line is, serving them and listening to their requests, making sure that they are getting what they need.
So you make sure the relationship managers have the tools and resources they need in order to serve your clients. So really you're seeing to the customer service experience at large, but then also in a detailed day-to-day kind of way, you're serving a team internally.
Yes.
So really you're serving both. You're looking at things from the perspective of the customers, but also you're serving a team within. What are some of the challenges, whether it's without or within, that you face as customer success manager for Novologic?
Working with people is always a challenge.
It's interesting, isn't it?
To be honest.
I get that from so many guests, and then when I'm coaching business owners a lot of times, if it weren't for personnel problems, I wouldn't have problems, Dr. Joey. I'm like, really? People are hard to manage. They're hard to deal with. We live in a broken, negative, sinful world. Really? Who knew?
Who knew? Crazy.
So know that it's not just you, Kristen Kelliher. Okay. All of us struggling with each other, right?
Good to know. Yes.
Yeah. What does this mean to serve each other when you're acting human? So that's one of your challenges, working with people. Okay.
Yes, of course. So
is it internal or external? No, don't answer that question. Your boss may be watching.
I was going to say no.
Yeah. Well, it's just the reality of it, right? I mean, I love to laugh and joke about it because everybody thinks their company is the only one with relationship challenges. But we do live in a broken world. So how does your faith help you step up into that gap as a Christian, right? How does your faith help you step up into that gap between what we wish the world was like and what the world is really like?
Yeah. Really, we had someone come speak to us just the other morning about grace and just the reminder to extend grace and receive grace because I'm not always the perfect person to work with either.
Really? Welcome to the human race, Kristen Kelliher.
Yes. So
I appreciate your humility in admitting that.
Yeah. So, just making sure that, we have conversations with each other and are humble and go to each other and apologize and hear each other out. And, if there's differences of opinions, then, just working through them and being kind and listening and making sure not to jump to conclusions that are not necessary. And so it just really keeps me grounded in how I'm interacting with people and the grace that's given both ways and recognizing it.
So what does grace look like in terms of a behavior for you when you've received grace from someone? What have they done for you, Kristen?
Well, they could have I don't know, forgiven me for some sort of not ideal behavior or conversation or
okay, so you were not at your best.
I was not at my best.
Right. And so they reacted how? they forgave you?
Yes. So
Do they come to you and say, hey, I forgive you? How do they do that?
I try as much as I can to seek it out.
So to go and ask for forgiveness?
Go and ask and just make sure that that I have I tell them that I hear them and come to some sort of resolution and apologize and ask for forgiveness and even when I don't ask for forgiveness, if they're gracious enough to move on or come and elicit my time and say, hey, this wasn't a great interaction, but I know we passed it. And so.
Yeah, the challenge for me is, and maybe this is not a challenge for you, but the challenge for me is I don't know what I don't know. And sometimes I miss stuff. Like I'll say something in a conversation with somebody on our team and I'm not at my best, maybe I'm traveling and just a few hours sleep. And so, on a physical ragged edge, which seems to be one of my most stressed out places to be, when I'm physically not at my best. And then it seems like that affects my words and other things that I say. But sometimes I just don't know. I mean, you're talking about going to somebody and saying I blew it. I get that, and I do that. I've been married 36 years. I got that one. Honey, can you forgive me? But man, you don't know what you don't know. So sometimes you just go on and feel rather justified. What's it like for you when, say, in your prayer time or something like that, the Holy Spirit brings to your attention, hey, you aren't at your best here? What's that like for you?
It is super humbling. And I am just, I guess who I am is I just immediately feel this guilt and just weighing on me until I can go and right the situation.
So it burdens you.
It burdens me, yes, very much. So I dislike conflict and dislike others to not feel joy with interactions with me. So it just very much burdens me until I can go and get that situation righted.
Okay, so you don't let it grow old. You don't let grass grow up under it. You've got to go take care of it as soon as you become aware of it, huh?
Yes, I try very, very hard not to let grass grow up underneath it because it just is worse and worse the longer it festers.
Wow. Well, I like what you said about it being super humbling.
Yeah.
It really is. That's another level of humble, right? Because, gee, how did I miss that? I should have caught that. How could I say that? But how do you deal with those people? Let's say the tables are reversed and team member or something is not at his or her best, right? And so you have an interaction with them, but you go to them because you feel the burden. But let's say they don't come to you because they don't feel a burden and they just don't ask for forgiveness. What have you found to be effective in the workplace as a Christian then?
I think the best thing that's effective is just giving forgiveness anyways. Not forgiving them is just putting strain on you. And so, if they are not going to seek forgiveness, then that is completely fine. And but I'm going to forgive them anyways because I know that deep down, that's not what their intent was, or that wasn't who they were trying to be, and just make sure that I'm not holding grudges unnecessarily because of a comment or for someone being human and having a bad day.
Yeah. Lewis Smedes wrote a book years ago, Forgive and Forget, and I read that book, and it helped me with that very thing and exactly what you're talking about. And the pivotal phrase for me that you used was not holding grudges unnecessarily. Because that person that's not asking for forgiveness really doesn't care, right? About, so who's it hurting for me? It's hurting me holding the grudge.
Yep, exactly.
And that becomes a problem for me. And I know the good Lord has probably a pretty lengthy list of sins that I've committed that I have yet to confess, right? So I want to be just as generous with other people as the good Lord is, at least as much as I want the good Lord to be. Wow. Well, Kristen Kelliher from Novologic, I'm convinced that Faith Positive Nation would be stronger and the world a much better place if we took your tact to dealing with these unresolved issues relative to forgiveness. If we all felt the burden the way that you do, and just do that spiritual inventory of making sure that we're right in our relationships with each other. And then if we forgive people, whether they deserve it or not, that's a beautiful spirit that you bring to Novologic there in Lawrenceville, Georgia. So I'm sure it's incredible to work on the team with you, right?
Oh, well, thank you. I'm definitely not perfect, but I try to do the best that I can.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. And I love your story about your mom incarnating Christ to you and teaching you how to serve others. That's a beautiful story as well. So somebody in Faith Positive Nation, Kristen, is going to want to follow up with you and just say, hey, something like, hey, I have some challenges for giving people who don't ask for it in the workplace. How do you do that? Or, something like that. Is there an email address that we could share?
Yeah, absolutely. Kristin at novologic.com is the easiest and best way.
All right. And Chuck, our wonder producer, has that in the episode copy on the Kristen Kelliher page on the getpositive.today website. Kristen, Faith Positive Nation always wants to know from our guests before I let them go about a favorite Bible verse. Now, yes, I know there's 66 books in the Bible, and I've read it through a couple times, and I know it's really hard to pick a favorite Bible verse, right? Have you got one for today? If I ask you tomorrow, I might get a different answer, right?
Yep, one for today. So 2 Corinthians 12:9. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness.
So why is that your favorite Bible verse today?
Oh, because I need all the grace I can get every day. And I could not do what I do without the Lord's power. So
yeah, and in our weakness, he's made strong, right?
Yeah.
Kristen, you're amazing. I so appreciate your story today and sharing it with Faith Positive Nation here on Faith Positive Radio. We pray God's blessings on you, the amazing wonder husband, Kevin, and then the most beautiful, brilliant little girl ever born, Riley Grace.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. God bless you, Kristen.
You too.
Thanks for listening to Faith Positive Radio, the Christian business coaching conversation that increases your faith with greater joy at work so you love God and others more. Suggest guests and ask questions when you email Dr. Joey at info@getpositive.today. And be sure to get your free gift of the 5 positive business conversations to have today coaching program at getpositive.today. Until next time, may God bless you with everything your heart can hope for and more than your mind can imagine.